Great. Well, it'll do. You just have to put it here, I guess.
I think mine.
Try not to hit the mic when we do it. What's this?
It's the computer that's operating the screens, but like why
Oh.
it's taking. No one's
Always put it up here.
changing that.
God, what is that thing? That's right. That's the bathroom.
I remember that. Yeah, I'm going to the end of this year. I'm gonna, but I'm not gonna practice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use it.
Got everybody? Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate everybody being here. I think everybody's used to all the different ways that COVID has changed our everyday life. My name is Rob Leonard. I'm the new incoming Chief Judge here in the Superior Court. I want to welcome everybody here, both in person and online. For those of you that are online, we are sorry that we didn't really have space to get everyone in here. So this event really is limited to the judges that Judge Marbutt's going to be serving with and his immediate family. So those of you that are out watching on YouTube or Facebook Live or whatever, drop him a little comment, tell him hello, congratulations. It'll be kind of like a little virtual guest book like you were here, because I'm sure he'll be able to look back on that one day. So I will tell you, in Superior Court, we get to do about 3 happy things, and everything else up here can be very serious and problematic. Those things that we get to do that we enjoy are adoptions, bar admissions, and swearing-ins. And so that's what we're here for today. And it's my privilege to welcome Judge Marbutt to our bench. And one of the things that I get to do as incoming Chief Judge is I get to kind of shepherd this court along and help guide it through really a period of unprecedented change in our county. We've got 3 new Superior Court judges coming this year in January. We've got another new one coming in January of the following year, since the 11th judgeship got approved. So we'll have 4 new judges in the next year show up in this court. We've never had anything like that whatsoever in this county. We've also got a lot of changing of the guard with other county officials. So it's been an interesting time in our county, and there's a lot going on, a lot of change, but it's an honor to be here and to welcome Judge Marbutt onto our team. And that's what we are in Superior Court. I love this court. I loved it when I was a practicing lawyer. I felt like the reputation of the Cobb County bench was stellar in the state. And I don't think I really understood what made it that way until I got up here and kind of got a peek behind the curtain. And really what separates this bench from about any other that you'll run into is the collegiality on it. And that is one of the most important things for me to try to maintain as we move forward through this period of change. Because we truly, when you see those group photos of all of us and everybody smiling, that is not fake, that is real. We enjoy each other's company. We feel like, that our constituents and our voters and all of our users of the court system deserve to have a bench that is that is cohesive and functional. And we may go into the back, we may argue, and we may fight. When we come out of that room, we speak with one voice. We know we're a team, and that's what we do. And so it's really important to me to maintain that collegiality on the bench, and I think that is super important. And I will tell you unequivocally, after having dealt with all three of our new incoming judges, I do not think that's going to be a problem. That is going to be maintained. We're going to be the same good working group of judges that you are used to having. So let's talk about Jason for a second. I think everybody here knows, you probably don't get to this point unless you've got a few things. Everybody knows Jason, that he's got a keen intellect and a serious work ethic, and everybody's expecting that out of him. When he joins us on the bench in January, we've all come to expect that. But I want to tell you about a couple of things that I've learned about Jason just in dealing with him the last few months and trying to help him with his transition that maybe you might not know and that I didn't really know. It's easy to think about the Jason Marbutt that you know, with this kind of the hard-charging prosecutor, the reputation he's built in that district attorney's office for all these years. But I'll tell you, in having handled cases against him when I was in private practice and having him appear in front of me on the bench and talking with him in these last couple of months, you know, it's not that simple. You know, I will tell you, I've learned that he's a guy that really believes in second chances. And we had an interaction recently that made me see that firsthand. And I'm excited about that. That's a quality that a judge, you know, needs to have and needs to believe in. And so I think that's important. And I've also learned that Jason is fiercely independent. And now that is the hallmark of any good judge. And, you know, I'd read a lot about our founding fathers and those that helped set up our branches of government and the judicial system. And Jason's going to fit right in that regard, because an independent judiciary is critical. And I think he's going to bring that to this bench. And we look forward to having you. I do want to go ahead and introduce a couple of speakers. Well, let's see. Let's not do the speakers. We got to do the invitation first before us. If you'll come up and give us the invocation. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's bow our heads. Our Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you today, ask for a couple of things. First, to give thanks, and we've got a few small requests, if you don't mind. First, for giving thanks. Thank you for gathering us all here. Thank you for getting us here safely. We just thank you for loving us and just for the opportunity just to be here. Thank you for those that are in the room that serve. We couldn't do what we do without them. We just thank you for those that have the courage and the bravery to be able to do so and serve this community. We thank you for the volunteers that led us to this point, the countless hours that it took to get us here. For those who helped with the election and see it all the way through, we just thank you for all those that lent a hand in making this day happen. As far as requests, we ask for your blessings on this day. Bless the families that are here in person and online. We ask for your protection from sickness, keep us free from the virus that we're all having to deal with. We ask for protection for those in law enforcement, the police officers and detectives and district attorneys and anybody else that I may be leaving out, especially judges. And speaking of judges, ask for special protection over Jason, the Honorable Jason D. Marbutt. We should protect him and his family, bless him, guide him in his decisions, give him wisdom. We just thank you for everything that you do for us, and thank you allowing us to be here today. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
All right, next we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. Come up and lead us in the pledge. All right, Colin, Haley, and Peyton.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. So next, I need to introduce a couple of guest speakers that you're going to hear from. And the first is going to be Bill Atkins. He's a partner at Edmund, Lindsay and Atkins. He's a trial lawyer who's had the privilege of representing clients in state and federal courts throughout Georgia and southeastern United States. He specializes in catastrophic personal injury and civil rights cases, teaches and serves on the executive board of GTLA. He's married to a Cobb County school teacher. He wants me to say works much harder than he does. I think everybody that's done any homeschooling or virtual online schooling all knows that to be true now. So nobody's going to be down raising a stink when the teachers try to get a pay raise next time. Everybody knows that's much needed now. And so he's lived in Cobb County for 20 years and co-directs the Walton High School mock trial team with Jason. Bill.
Thank you, Judge Leonard. It is my honor and privilege to come before you today and say a few words about my friend Jason Marbutt. When Jason asked me to do this, as any trial lawyer would, I accepted without hesitation. The hesitation came later, a few days ago, actually, when he told me I was supposed to say something nice about him. Well, it's too late to back out now, so I'll do my best. That is, of course, entirely untrue. I have gotten to know Jason and Olivia and their children quite well over the last few years. They're good people. They're decent, honest, thoughtful people, the kind of people that make our community here a better place to live. As some of you know and just heard, of course, Jason and I coached the Walton mock trial team together. And you can learn a lot about a human being watching how they interact with teenage boys and girls, what with all the attitude and the drama, fits of righteous indignation that teenagers are prone to, even the occasional unexpected geyser of tears. Come to think of it, that series of emotions is not unlike what you might face on your average plea and arraignment day in this courthouse. You may be better prepared than I thought you were. Because what I've learned about Jason is, as we've worked with these kids for 6 years now almost, is he's patient, he's kind, he's a good listener, he's smart, we've heard that, but he doesn't take himself too seriously. And I've also learned that he's adept at letting others know when they do take themselves too seriously. Never me, of course, just others. Those qualities will certainly serve him well on the bench. But ultimately, it's not why I was so strong in my support and belief that Jason will be a great addition to this bench and a great colleague to the judges that we have here already in Cobb County. First of all, I'm certain that Jason's politics, whatever they may be, will play no role in his decisions. His character, humility, intelligence, and innate sense of fairness will be his only masters. That is all anyone, anywhere in this country, should ever ask of a judge. There is simply no place for bias and politics on the bench. And as lawyers, we've got to do all we can to keep it out of our state judicial contests, and more importantly, our courtrooms. The second reason for me is even more fundamental. And Jason's heard me wax on about this more times than he'd care to talk about. He shares my reverence and faith in juries. And I know that he will ensure that in his courtroom, jurors will get to fulfill their essential function in our society. I believe that trial lawyers and judges have a common obligation to protect and preserve society's faith in our justice system and its core function, and that is the right to jury trial. A jury, for those who don't do what we do every day, and maybe some are cynical about it, but I'm not, it's a remarkable thing. You get 12 people who grudgingly accept an invitation to show up and sit in the courtroom for however long. They're told they can't talk about anything they hear the entire time they're there. So they sit there as silos day after day. They evaluate credibility. They weigh testimony. They consider arguments. And they filter them all through their prism of their personal life, They're biases. Yes, they're biases. And they're fixed beliefs and assumptions. And often, those are completely different than those of their fellow jurors, which they find out when they get in the jury room. And yet somehow, when those 12 individuals walk into a jury room, time and time and time again, they come out as one body and render a verdict. I can only speak for myself. I've seen it many times, and it amazes me every time, win or lose. It is a remarkable thing. Now, let's not be Pollyannish. We know what jury means. A verdict means, right? Verdict means to say the truth. And there have been long periods in our history where jury verdicts spoke a very different kind of truth. Not too far from here, where we're standing right now, not too very long ago, all white male juries reached verdict after verdict that spoke the ugly truth of racial prejudice, bigotry, and oppression. And we fought hard, all of us, to eradicate and banish those evils from our systems of justice. But truth be told, we've not entirely succeeded. We all know that. So we have a duty as lawyers and judges today to continue that fight. It is a solemn duty because those forces, those evils exist, and they may even be ascendant at times in our history. We've got to make sure they don't infect our jury deliberations and undermine the faith that people have in our system of justice. I can tell you unequivocally, without any doubt, those forces will find no footing in any courtroom that Jason Marbutt presides over. In this front moment in our history, I'll just say one last thing about this subject. And when our society is so fractured, right, into these factions, who too often are able to dismiss facts as fiction and accept some unbridled conspiracy theory as the absolute God-given truth, it has never been more important in our society, I submit to you, that we protect and preserve a system of justice where ordinary people are asked to come in and do the hard work of listening to each other, of hearing evidence, confining their deliberations to the facts and law they hear in a courtroom, not on Twitter or somewhere else, and reaching a verdict, finding a truth in a given case. I know my friend Jason Marbutt will make sure that happens in his courtroom. I have no doubt about it. He will be a credit to this bench, and he will do honor to our justice system. Thank you.
All right, so next, Jason would like me to invite up his wife, Olivia. So Olivia is his wife. She's a mother of three. She's a partner at Kent and Risley. She's a patent lawyer and a corporate litigator whose primary practice involves intellectual property disputes in federal courts throughout the United States. Her first decade of her career was spent at Jones Day here in Atlanta, and she's originally from Tucson, Arizona. She had an undergraduate degree in molecular and cellular biology with a minor in Spanish from the University of Arizona, where she had a 4.0 and was Phi Beta Kappa. She never made a B until law school when she met Jason, which what I'm reading from that is entirely your fault. So I think she'll probably blame you for that. And so they both attended Emory Law School, and I can tell, Jason and I, we share a common, we've accomplished some things in our career, but when we go home, we might not even be the smartest lawyer in our own house. So we'll share that distinction. But at Emory, she was Order of the Coif, executive managing editor of the Emory International Law Journal. She's academically brilliant. Jason had me say this. He said, made Jason sandwiches for lunch. And Jason wanted me to add that he taught her that she had to take the plastic off the outside edge of the bologna before you put it on the sandwich. Now, I got a feeling, Jason, that your sandwich eating days are probably over after this. And I just said how smart I thought you were and everything like that. But to put that in there and then invite her up to a microphone to come up and speak about you, you're more brave than I thought you were. Come on up, Olivia.
Good afternoon. It's my great honor and actually utter terror to make this speech. Despite being a teacher in a prior life, I really don't love standing in front of people and waxing philosophical. Super easy for me to stand comfortably in front of 30 high school students and explain complicated cellular processes, but standing in front of people to give a speech, not so much. But enough about me, sort of. Something most people probably don't know about me is that I have an obsession with modern musicals generally, and with one in particular, Hamilton. My brain is filled with show lyrics, and anyone asking me what time is just as likely to get the answer showtime as to get the actual answer. Jason has humored my love of Broadway over the years, and we've seen many shows together, including seeing Hamilton in New York twice. So today, to continue the torture, I'm going to give you some life lessons I hope you'll take to the bench based on the lyrics from some of the shows we've seen. Number 1, I hope you continue to try defying gravity. In Wicked, Elphaba sings, "As someone told me lately, everyone deserves the chance to fly. And if I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free. To those who ground me, take a message back from me. Tell them how I am defying gravity." I'm so appreciative of the life lessons you have showed our kids in having dreams, or as I call them sometimes, big, hairy, audacious goals, bags, and working towards them. You'll never know if you can fly if you don't jump, and you've truly lived those words in action. So I hope you will continue to try to defy gravity. Number 2, turn it off like a light switch. The Book of Mormon reminds us that we have control over our own emotions and thoughts. Remember as you take the bench that though this job is weighty, you don't have to single-handedly carry those burdens all the time. Sometimes just turn it off like a light switch. Number 3, in the eye of the hurricane, there is quiet. Find the calm in the center of the storm and be that calm. But please don't be like Hamilton. Don't be stupid and write a confessional. Number 4, I hope you'll take this prayer from Come From Away to heart. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. Number 5, remember Evan Hansen's anthem. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, because you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. I will hope you will use Dear Evan Hansen to remind all those who come before you that they matter, that you care, and though their days may currently be dark, there is still hope and redemption in this world. Number 6, don't forget Hermes' message. To know how it ends and still begin to sing it again as if it might turn out this time. Sometimes the results will be clear, but still I hope you'll begin anew with the hope that this time the end will be different. Don't let your prior cases contaminate your approach to the new ones, and always look for hope. And finally, because as you know, my brain is filled with all of these lyrics, I have one more Hamilton lyric for you. Don't forget to look around, how lucky we are to be alive right now. I hope you don't forget to enjoy this next chapter. This has been your dream for as long as I've known you. We've worked our tails off to get here. Savor it. I know you'll do an amazing job. I love you. Congratulations.
Let me. You can't steal his phone. Okie dokie. Is this on? Great. I'm Steve Schuster. I'm one of the 10 judges, and it is the seat I currently occupy that Jason's taking over. And I want to thank the family for being here today. Each of you, as was said earlier, has contributed to this moment. Each of you has made it possible. You are Team Marbutt. Jason, you're about to take on the most thrilling and professional endeavor of your career. Sometimes it'll be frustrating. Sometimes it'll be tedious, but it will always be rewarding. In the state of Georgia, there are about 220 Superior Court judges. So it's a very small circle of judges at our level. For a population of 10.6 million, or about one judge for every 48,000 Georgians. In Cobb County, with a population of 760,000, there are 10 active judges, or one for about every 76,000 Cobb Countyans. So you will be taking a judgeship on a very hot bench. You will be busy, and every one of your decisions will have important consequences for those in front of you. The other Superior Court judges in this state will become your friends and your mentors, and they will be there to help you. The other 9 judges, and the judges to be, will not just be your coworkers, but they're going to be your brethren. They are your siblings, and they will be your friends. The judges will be there to share your accomplishments and to help you when you have challenges. You will text them at all hours of the day and night. They will joke with you. They will even pull pranks on you. You, as Judge Leonard said, will have incredibly lively discussions with them on the direction of the court. But most importantly, you will always be there for each other. And you will always speak to the public as one. Your seat will be known in the official records of the state of Georgia as Cobb Superior Court Marbutt. This position was created by the legislature as Cobb's 3rd Superior Court judge. James Bullard, who is no longer with us, held it from about 1973 to 1974. In 1985, it became known as Cobb Superior Court Judge Cawthorn, and I've invited Judge Cawthorn here today to speak if he wishes to say anything. I'll get back to him in a second. And then in 1991, it became known as Cobb Superior Court Judge Stoddard. And Judge Stoddard is here today also. In 2005, I was honored and privileged to have it become Cobb Superior Court Schuster. And I've always strived to live up to the reputation of those 3 judges who came before me in this position. And I'm going to ask Judge Cawthorn, do you wish to say anything?
Be of good humor.
Thank you. And Judge Stoddard.
I have a lot more.
Well, then I'll move away from the microphone.
Thank you for this opportunity and congratulations. There was at one time a judge on this court who often quoted the same biblical passage. He has shown all of you people what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. And that's Micah 6:8. And the judge that would quote this on occasions, especially like this, became one of the most honored and beloved judges in the whole state of Georgia's history, and that was Harris Hines. And I would encourage you to read the memorials in 304 Georgia appeals that talk about Harris Hines, because he established ideals that all of us could strive for and should strive for, and in your case, will hopefully fulfill. And we wish you the best of luck, and God bless.
It is truly an honor in a second to administer the oath, and it was truly an honor for me to have my predecessors come in here today, and they wish to come in here and wish you well for this position. So if y'all will come on up, and I've made a separate copy of the oath for you so that we don't have any stumbling around. So you will have that. Come on, guys, y'all need to come up. And we've got there we go. Why don't you stand? Amanda, where's Amanda? She'll tell you where to stand so that you're on the camera. There we are. We've got the Bible. Okay. Sure. Okay. We're going to get started in a second. Wait, hold on. Yes, sir, I'm about to administer the oath now. No, sir, I am not going to ask him to throw out the election for you. No, he's not going to do that. Okay, if you'll raise your right hand, and state your name,
I, Jason Marbutt,
a citizen of Cobb County,
a citizen of Cobb County,
and being an employee of the state of Georgia,
and being an employee of the state of Georgia,
and the recipient of public funds
and the recipient of public funds
for services rendered
as such an employee,
do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Georgia. I do further swear that I will administer justice without respect to person and do equal rights to the poor and the rich, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent on me as a judge of the superior courts of this state, according to the best of my ability and understanding, and agreeably to the laws and Constitution of this state and the United States. I do further solemnly swear and affirm that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state or any political subdivision or authority thereof. That I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, nor of either of the several states, nor any foreign state, and that I am otherwise qualified to hold such office according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia, and that I will support the constitutions of the United States and of this state, and I have been a resident of this circuit for the time required by the Constitution and laws of this state.
by the Constitution and laws of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. And will you be so kind before your remarks if you'll get a picture of the three of us? I want just a quick picture of the three of us with our new judge. There we go. There we go. And I present to you Judge Jason Marbutt.
So I told my wife before I started, I said I would give myself a 9% chance of making it through that without tears. I should have said 2. I don't think I made it past my brother's prayer. I want to start off before I get too much into some of this and just be sure to thank a couple of people. Bill, you and I have been friends for a long time, and I really do appreciate the words that you came to share with us today. I appreciate your friendship and support over the years and the continued years to come. And thank you for saying those things about me, and I will do my best to live up to them. Thank you. The other person, and there are lots of people to thank, there really are, but I want to be sure that here at the outset that I thank Judge Schuster. I would not be here if he were not leaving. I mean, you can take that how you want, but what I really mean to say, and what I really do mean that is, this is a man who has given our county almost 20 years of judicial service between his time as a Superior Court judge and as a juvenile court judge. There's a lot of wisdom there that he has given to the county and to us as citizens. He's given to me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your patience with me over the past few months. I know that your office is going to be next to me here in the new building. I'm sure I'm going to be in your office asking you questions about things as we go. The wisdom that you've taken with you and that you've given to me, thank you for that. And thank you for giving my swearing, holding your hand up and helping me swear in today. I appreciate it. We did it, love. And I do mean we. Nobody wins an election by themselves, and that's both the literal sense. You've got to have the majority of the votes, which means there's an awful lot of people who had to vote and support me. But I even have it written down, and I'm still just struggling with, I don't know that it fully captures how appreciative I am. And I'm trying to look at the camera to everyone else who I hope is watching, how humbled I am by the support and the love of everybody who came together to really get the message out that I wanted as to who I am. Not what people might think that I am, but who I really am as a person. And thank you, guys. I wish that I could invite everyone to be here in person. I wish that we didn't have to do the swearing in this way. I've worked in this courthouse for more than a decade, and I've been to numerous swearing-ins of multiple people, and always hoped I would be the person standing up here one day or thinking about it. And I would love to have the opportunity to give hugs to everyone in the audience afterwards. It's just not the world that we live in right now. And I'm trying to be sensitive to that. We're trying to do that the right way. I've taken my mask off right now only because I'm between the tears and the fogging of my glasses with it. I can't even read what I've written on the paper. This stuff is life and death. It really is. I think what the statistics are, we're almost 300,000 deaths, about 3,000 a day. We're not done. I don't know when the court system is going to get fully back functional, But I want you to know that all of us, I've listened to them. We care about that, and we're trying to be good stewards of the offices that you gave us, and I'm trying to be a good steward. Death doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes. And we rise and we fall and we break and we make our mistakes. And if there's a reason I'm still alive when so many others have died, the refrain of that song, and it is a song, it's the song Wait For It from the musical Hamilton. The refrain of that song, and by the way, I'm not singing it because I cannot carry a tune in a bucket. You are welcome. The refrain of that song is I will wait for it, or excuse me, is I'm willing to wait for it. It's the anthem of Aaron Burr in Hamilton. And Aaron Burr is the consummate politician. He's always holding back, waiting, taking the temperature of the room, working angles. He's always trying to figure out the right time to speak his mind, arguably even to make up his mind is, because he wants to only speak out when it's going to be convenient for him. He is the foil to Alexander Hamilton. Hamilton is a firebrand. It seems like there is no hill too small to die on. He's principled. He's always rubbing people the wrong way because he's running his mouth about his principles and his truth and offering it up to everyone. And he doesn't wait until it's convenient. He just speaks. To me, the dichotomy between those two people really kind of illustrates American politics, and it illustrates people in general. We can choose to be Burr, where we are constantly taking the temperature of the room and deciding when it is politically convenient to express our truth. Or we can be Hamilton, a person of principle who speaks about what they believe in, no matter what it costs. Mom, am I Hamilton, the principled firebrand, or Burr, the people-pleasing politician? If you couldn't hear it at home, she said always Hamilton. Mothers know their sons. And in this case, she knows it because I got it from her. I am notorious for speaking my mind. In the context of being a Superior Court judge, I will tell you what I believe that means for me. I believe in due process. I believe in truth. And that the process we have designed is to seek truth. I believe that justice is possible when we make truth the goal in a defined set of rules that apply equally to everyone. I believe in the notion that equal justice under the law is the right of every man and woman, no matter where they come from, what they look like, how they worship, or what they believe. I believe that our Creator endowed us with certain unalienable rights that our Constitution protects, and that we as judges protect those rights through our adherence to the Constitution. I stand for those things. I stand for the principles that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, whatever that means to them. In asking for advice for this new position, I talked with a lot of people. I'm going to continue to talk to a lot of people. But I will tell you, there are at least 3 people in this room who have given me the same advice, and I'm going to paraphrase it. Talk less, smile more. That is the advice, by the way, that Aaron Burr gave to a young Hamilton in the play. And it's not bad advice. It really isn't. There are times to hold your tongue. There are times to pick your spots and pick your battles. Because if you're arguing with everyone all the time, people stop listening to you because they don't hear what you have to say. But I will tell you that all things being equal, when faced with a conflict and having to choose between speaking up about my beliefs or holding my tongue, my instinct is going to be to speak up. And as I said, I get that from my mother. Mom, there are parts of your life story that are not mine to share. I know it hasn't always been roses. And I know that you sometimes are your own worst critic, doubting yourself. I want you to know that my success is your success. I am who I am because of you. Some of the things I like best about myself, I get from you. Your strength in darkness, your ability to read people, your willingness to fight for what you believe in. Those are the things about myself that I think I got from you. I love you. Dad, when you were just a little older than I am today, you had the courage to follow your dreams and open your own business. I know it's proven to be wildly successful, but at the time, I know it was a risk. I know that it was something that you and Mom had just bought a house. Forrest and I were in college. You had tuition payments. You left positions, very successful positions at other businesses, but and I knew that you were sweating the very real prospect that your life savings could be gone. Thank you for showing me what courage looks like. This job is my dream job, and I had the courage to go for it because I learned from you the value of calculated risks and what it's like to take those risks and when the time is right to go out for what you want. I love you. Forrest, my older brother, I will never forget staying after practice with you to do extra conditioning or work on new wrestling moves. By the way, he was my ride, so I couldn't leave. I make that joke, but honestly, I didn't mind staying. I just enjoyed having an older brother that I could look up to and learn from. And I just want you to know that I will always have your back. That's what brothers do, and I love you. My children, all three of you. Part of being a kid, I've been there once. Part of being a kid is wondering if your parents love you and are proud of you. And so I just want to make that clear to you, if I haven't already, but I want to make that clear to you and to everyone who's watching on the camera and everybody in this courtroom. And I want to say to you that I love you with all of my heart and more than life itself. You each have such unique personalities, and I love watching you grow, and I love the way that you interact with each other. I love just everything there is about you. I want you to know that my job is scary and important, and I'm nervous. I want to do the right thing. Other people are not always going to agree what the right thing is, and I'm probably going to get some criticism sometimes for that. It's just part of what this job is. What I will always keep in the back of my mind, though, as I do this job and make the tough decisions, is that what I want is for you to be proud of me. I know I'm the parent, but I want you to hear me on that. What matters to me as I make those decisions, as I go home and have to live with them, is that you're proud of who I am and what I'm doing. I love each and every one of you, okay? And that leads me to another person, my wife. You guys have heard that we met in law school. We started dating the summer between our first and second year of law school. We were both clerking in the same county. She was clerking for a juvenile court judge, and I was clerking for a state court judge. And we would go to lunch together. And, after going to lunch a few times, I kind of decided, I guess I knew her, but that's when we really started hanging out more. I decided I wanted to ask her out. By the way, this is going to give you guys a great window into how my brain works. I was a psychology major, so I had read somewhere, I have no idea where I picked this up, but it was what was in my head. And I will admit it to you here, public, that what I had read was that when you take someone out on their first date and you want it to be romantic, you need to take them someplace exciting. Because, right, you want to get their pulse racing, and then they'll confuse the excitement from whatever else you're doing with their excitement for you. And it's, by the time they figure out how boring you really are, it's just too late. They're already hooked. So I took my wife skydiving, which I had gone to before a number of times. And if you haven't been skydiving, it worked. It was super exciting. She's shaking her head. That's part of the story too. If when you skydive, you're in a plane, and yes, you're exciting and it was exhilarating, but I discovered something about my wife that day as well, and that is that she gets motion sick. So she got excited, but if you jump out of a plane, what happens is that the horizon line it tends to move around a lot, and then, you're falling. And by the way, you don't just gently come out of the plane, you tumble out of the plane. And then, once you get righted, the person who's tandem, they'll pull the parachute, and then they want to make sure you're having fun. So they usually make sure they spin you a lot. So what I discovered, and I guess the other emotion or feeling that my wife got that day was nausea. So I took my wife somewhere where, she learned to experience and associate with me both excitement and nausea, which I guess is the foundation for a successful marriage. Because here we are 18 years later, and it's been a wild ride. And if I wasn't convinced enough that you needed more excitement in your life about a year ago, I came to her and said, it's time, I want to run for office. And she again felt excitement and nausea. And the pandemic didn't disappoint by having things like, I don't know, can you have an event where are you supposed to wear a mask or not wear a mask? Somebody's going to be mad at you either way. Are you supposed to, can you shake hands? Do you fist bump? Do you nod? We're figuring all that out while I'm trying to campaign. Then we have moving election dates, so you're slotted to, she weathered all of that, all of it. Love, thank you for dropping from the plane with me and holding my hand as we hurtled to the bottom. It is my fervent hope that one of these days I will be good enough for you, and that I will make your heart flutter more from the excitement than the nausea. I could not have made it here without you. I love you with all of my heart, and thank you. To everyone else, again, those of you watching, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for having the trust in me. I'm humbled to be given the opportunity to serve the citizens of Cobb County, and I will try not to let everyone down. Thank you.
Everyone, thank you so much for being here. We're adjourned.
I didn't know until I asked you about it.
Judge Marbutt before you go, really
Just a quick picture.
just a quick picture so y'all can get y'all out of there. I'm gonna do
Absolutely. You did a great job. I didn't know you were so, educated.
Yeah.
We're there twice a day.
Sorry.